all are watching.
What up? It is Cole Radjic, the Ratty Daddy, and you're watching Cole TV. Let's go.
Revelation brings a revolution.
Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to our very special AEW Revolution 2024 prediction show. I'm Xlj the Og, joined with my very special friends today. You know him, you love him. He's the Wrestle Talk Drip God himself, one Hambone. How you doing, Hambone?
I am good, sir. What is up, all you fucking marks?
We are ready for this revolution to begin, so to speak. Of course, also with us, he is the wrestling encyclopedia himself. You know him and love him, not only from Cole TV, but from World Championship Wreckage's channel. One Michael J. Duplessis. How you doing, bro?
Good. How y'all doing?
Doing awesome, man. And finally, last but certainly not least, our good, close personal friend. You know him, you love him. He has an amazing YouTube channel and so much more. Extreme League Wrestling. How you doing, bro?
Good. I'm so happy to be back on Cole TV. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're glad to have you back. And man, oh man, Sunday night is going to be amazing and also very emotional. So going to get the tissues out because I think this is going to be a tough one as we're talking about Sting's last match. But before we get into all of that, Hambone and I kind of had a chance to kind of talk about this on PW60 earlier this week. I kind of want to get your guys' thoughts on that. It seems like right now in AEW, it's really like a holding pattern because it's just like nothing truly like, earth-shattering's really happened. And us as the fickle wrestling fans that we can be, it's kind of like we're spoiled rotten expecting that. And of course, WWE is firing on all cylinders right now. Do you think this show could possibly be the show that really puts AEW kind of back in the wrestling fans' kind of like minds of like, oh yeah, this is a hot product again?
I think it's either going to be this show or that one in Boston.
Yeah.
And we talked about this, Jay. Like every AEW pay-per-view comes up and everybody's like, oh, this looks lackluster. And then you watching it's like, oh, it's an amazing pay-per-view. And this will be no different. Do I think it'll put them back on the map as a hot product? No. I don't really think that that's going to happen until, like Michael said, either we get to Boston and we get, Mercedes and probably Okada, or until some of their big stars come back, until we get MJF or Kenny Omega or all these guys who are missing right now.
That's a good point. I guess I should rephrase it. Is this kind of the start of that, so to speak? Because yes, we do got big business coming up here in a couple of weeks. There's a heavy rumors flowing around. Take it what you will, but the possibly Okada could be showing up this upcoming Wednesday on Dynamite. Extremely. What do you think about Revolution, and is this going to be very impactful for AEW?
Yeah, I think we're going to look at this show back maybe here in a couple of months and see it as a real turning of the page in AEW. We're removed enough from 2023 to where, AEW is finally coming into its own. We have a lot of old faces back, a lot of new faces coming in. And also kind of more importantly, we are going to be on the cusp of a lot of people coming back from injury. I mean, Adam Cole's not going to have that cast forever. I just had a thought today while I was walking my dog. We should be soon to a Jamie Hayter return, hopefully, and with all the time and money and resources that we see TK putting into the women's division, I'm personally really excited to see what happens with the entire AEW women's division. And then also at the same time, like the main event scene just basically had a full-on reset. And to be fair, when you have a champion like MJF who's had the belt for over 400 days, it is really hard to kind of like just bounce directly back from that, especially when you've had someone who went on the run that he did. So for me personally, I think this is going to be a turning of the page for AEW. Usually, at least in my mind, as a AEW fan since the beginning, I kind of saw Full Gear as like the closing of the book of AEW, but I can see that Revolution is more so just like there's not a closing of a chapter. There's more of a start of another one per se with Revolution this year.
1,000% agree. I
Yeah.
think this is like just the opening chapter of where
should get
AEW goes from
Britt
here.
back soon too, shouldn't we?
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
I
was
think
gonna say, I think that AEW could get a real hard reset if they actually pulled the trigger and let Swerve become world champion. But I don't think they're gonna take that belt off of Joe.
It's what the
Yeah.
heart wants,
separately, so.
Hambone.
we got to talk about. We're going to definitely talk about that. And I think there's some things that happen to have to happen on this show, enable for this reset to happen. But anyways, boys, let's get right into it. Let's talk AEW Revolution, coming to you from the historic Greensboro Coliseum. And this match, which is a little disappointing because I really wanted the meat gauntlet, whatever the hell they were calling it. But
The big meaty match. Yeah,
the
that
big
was
meaty
mad.
man match. Apparently, I guess what it was is Miro and Keith Lee weren't cleared to be in this match. So that's why they kind of
Did you
changed this
see
to this all-star
Miro's
scramble.
tweet about that?
Oh yeah, Miro's been going
Yeah.
off on Twitter about it.
Oh,
my-
really? I missed
Yeah.
that. What did he
He
do?
went off that Tony Khan's been knowing about his injury since like late last year. Like he's been
Oh.
injured since like September.
Yeah, he said September. Yeah,
Well, maybe it's taken out of context as he was just like he had this. Well, then again, he did book. Who knows? Papa
Yeah.
Khan probably did a little.
Like, he-
But anyways.
he went off
Who
on
knows?
Twitter today. It was hilarious. I love when Miro's pissed at TK.
But now we got this all-star 8-man scramble that we do know Chris Jericho, Powerhouse Hobbs, Lance Archer, Wardlow, Hook, and Brian Cage are in. At the time of this recording, there's 2 more qualification matches to take place. I just want to say this. I really hope Brian Keith wins that match on Collision. I think that'd be dope. But
Which is funny because on Wikipedia, which is where I'm getting this, those two already booked on their Wikipedia.
So to my understanding,
oh, they
the
taped
Brian
it, didn't
Keith-
they?
The
Yeah.
Brian Keith qualifier was taped post Dynamite. To
Oh,
my understanding, from what I've heard.
wait, I knew that all along. Just messing with y'all.
And,
Because,
So
and-
who's the other name? Is it the guy from CMLL?
yeah, Magnus and Dante.
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Dante's in it. So Dante won
Yeah.
that 3-way. Oh, okay, cool. Well, anyways,
not
we're
on me
getting
on
this.
that boy's bones. Let me tell you.
We're getting this scramble match. And by the way, the winner of this is going to become the new #1 contender for the AEW World Championship.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
Yes,
good.
yes, this is a #1 contenders match. So that being said,
So again, the rankings just kind of thrown out the window.
fuck it. Anyways,
Yeah,
fuck it.
rankings.
What?
A draft? Like,
Just-
what are you talking about?
Just
Those
like
things-
brand split.
They're just words, man.
Yeah, these are just anyways.
Rankings aren't in points and statistics. They're in
Yeah.
your heart.
love
Yeah.
Rankings are just, they're just a concept, bro. You know what I mean? They're not real,
bro, like-
man.
I
Like it's
love
the
that.
concept that society's
so
trying to place
freaking
upon
much.
the working class, man.
Yeah.
It's
These are all valid points, gentlemen. So pretty much tell me why you don't think Wardlow would win this. Is anybody like, because this is Wardlow's win.
I don't
Yeah,
think
this is-
Wardlow's gonna win it. I think
Really?
first off, can Chris Jericho go away? Second,
Thank
I
God somebody
actually
else-
think that Hook is going to win it because I don't think they're done with this Hook and Joe thing.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah,
First-
that could happen. Man, that'd be huge if he could go over all these guys.
I feel like for me personally, here's where I'm at with Wardlow. And we'll get into this probably towards the tail end of the show here. But if Joe remains AEW champion and Wardlow wins, you're pulling kind of a heel versus heel thing. And I don't really see where that would go long term unless you do a one-off match on Dynamite for like big business or something like that. Personally, for me, I mean, I would agree with Hambone. I mean, thinking about it now, Hook seems like a no-brainer. Please, for the love of God, don't let it be Chris Jericho. I'm tired of him. I love Chris. He needs to go away.
Yeah, he just
Go away
needs
for a little
to.
bit.
Yeah, he's done what he could do. It's fine. We're done. Like, just go chill.
He's
Go-
like the
go on
homie at the
tour
house
spots.
party who can't take the hint that it's time to go. It's
Yep.
3 a.m. You're the only one here, and I'm falling asleep on the couch while we're watching Caddyshack. Maybe let's wrap it up, yeah?
Oh man, I love
It is-
Caddyshack.
Here's-
It's such a good movie.
Here's the other thing to consider too. Again, in my argument against Wardlow winning, Wardlow wins, he becomes #1 contender, and then what? He gets beat.
Yeah.
That's
so
true.
if
That's true.
you're literally trying to get Wardlow back on track after getting him white hot and then just completely dropping him because that's TK's specialty, So now you're trying to get him hot again. You're gonna have him win this and then lose.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of
seems a
sense.
little counterproductive.
You know who I would love to see win it as a dark horse here? I would love to see Hobbs win it. I think that'd be great. I mean, he wouldn't win the title, but I'd love to see him win the match. I think it'd be dope.
I love Hobbs.
I
I
do
would
too.
love Hobbs to get pushed a little bit more. His TNT reign, TNT championship reign wasn't long enough, and then he beat Chris Jericho in like 5 seconds and went nowhere.
Well, I'm still going to say Wardlow on this one, but Hambone, you got Hook. What about you, Extreme League?
My heart wants Hook, but my brain says Wardlow, so I'm going Wardlow.
Okay. Michael?
I'm gonna go with Wardlow. I'm gonna go with the safe bet on this situation.
Yeah.
Might I say, as a dark horse for me, if Wikipedia do in fact be a source, I personally would love Brian Keith to have a surprise win, and then hey, maybe Joe squashes him in 5 minutes. I'm fine with that. I'd love me some Brian Keith, and I want more Brian Keith on my television show.
We need the bounty hunter in our life, man. That's for sure.
I'm gonna drop a hot take real quick.
Yeah.
I don't get the hype with Brian Keith.
Oh man, he's just I don't know. Good in ring. I like the aesthetics of. I don't know. I just like his. I've watched him on the Indies. He's dope. He was great. I got to see him at a GCW show. Oh man, he killed it.
I like the theme song.
Yeah.
He's close to my area, so I'm excited to see him at an indie at some point.
Yeah. Oh. Well, moving on here, we've got another great tag team match coming to you here at the historic Greensport Coliseum. How appropriate. FTR going up against the Blackpool Combat Clubs, going up against Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli. I thoroughly enjoyed the first match they had. I wonder, is this a 20-minute like time limit on this match too? Or are we going to get extended time? I don't think they've specified that.
I feel like after that, their whole point is going to be, there must be a winner. No time limits because there must be a winner.
Yeah, that should be like a stipulation on this. And hell, let them cook for. I mean, they won't have time to on the show. Well, you never know. If they had like 30 minutes, I would be all for that.
Yeah. And I was there live for their first one, and let me tell you, they can easily do 30 minutes. And I can now die happy being in shot for one of Jon Moxley's entrances, might I add. But these guys could very much fulfill like 30 minutes easy, and it go by like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of a cool, like, definitely a cool matchup. I mean, they weren't really doing anything else with Mox, and like, why not put him in this matchup? This one's kind of a tough one to pick, I think, honestly. I'm like 50-50 on it. I think the fact that it's in Carolinas, I got to go with FTR, though. I got to go with Carolina boys here on this one. What about you, Hambo?
Got 3 things. Number 1, and I don't even want an answer on this. Where's that fucking nerd Yuta at? Number 2, and this might upset Extreme League, but can Moxley just join Chris Jericho and go away for a while? And number 3, FTR.
Yeah.
May I answer 2 of your points, Sir Hambone? Sure. 1, I believe Yuta's injured. I believe so.
Well, then he should drop that fucking title.
I mean, fair enough. Also, 2,
he has a title. No.
You know what, Hambone? As a peace offering, I will say this: as I've been thinking about Sting's career and thinking of his time at TNA, I will agree that I will concede that Jeff Jarrett is a good wrestler. And I apologize for all the slander. There's my.
I appreciate that. I will pass that along to Jeff.
We're clipping
he
that.
He will also appreciate it. Listen, I'm just moxed out. That's all. Like, he's not doing anything new. Same old shit. He's on every week. Why do I need Moxley on every week? Just once a week would be cool. Or do something new. It's just the same shit with him all the time. He's a little stale. A little stale to me right now.
That's fair. And if you're gonna clip this, let me specify. Hello, Mr. Jared. Big fan. I hate you because I'm supposed to, because you're just so good at your job.
That's not true, Jeff. I've always defended you on every podcast. Don't listen to this bullshit.
He has, to be fair. But my pick for this, I don't know. I feel like this is kind of a pseudo tag number 1 contendership match, depending on how the next another match on this card goes. For me, I mean, I'm a Blackpool Combat Club mark. I'm going to go with my boys, good old BCC on this one, because hypothetically, if if by the end of this night, if the Young Bucks have the titles, don't get me wrong, FTR and the Young Bucks, great together. I could see them wrestle for hours. Do we need to see it again this soon? Especially after All In? I don't personally think so.
The only thing I will say about this, though, extremely about that, is the Young Bucks, they do have a pretty fresh coat of paint now.
Fair.
Which is different, which I like. But anyway, and we'll talk more about that here. But Michael, who do you got in this one, my friend?
I'm going to go with FTR just because Tony Khan loves the hometown winning pop. And they are in the Carolinas.
He's the anti-Vince.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much anti-Vince. He loves giving the hometown team pop. And yeah, their whole family's going to be in the front row probably on the other side because Sting's family's going to be in the first on the hard camp side.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of family in the front row.
Keeping it in the family. But yeah, I think this will be a tremendous match, though. I'm looking forward to it. Oh, baby. Now, this one makes my nipples hard. I'm just saying. Will Ospreay making his official, I guess, AEW in-ring debut, at least as part of the AEW roster, going up against his stablemate in the Don Callis family, Takeshita. Boy, oh boy. I am so freaking like this is going to be dope. I think like what a great first matchup for him to be in. What a great spot for Takeshita to be in too, man. Going up against Will Ospreay. I guess I got to ask this: are you guys as excited about this as I am?
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Oh,
in ring, this is going to be a barn burner. This is going to be one of those matches. I think. Like for North American fans who don't understand the hype of New Japan per se, because like they don't get the chance to watch it as much due to the time difference, they're going to watch this match and go, oh, that was some next level shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like Will Ospreay is coming into like him signing with AEW, I think was really the smart move for him. Simply for the fact of like, they are in dire need of having that epic of a wrestler like transcend into the main event scene. And I man, it's a shot in the arm that they really need, I believe, because we've been talking about already like a lot of the guys that are kind of in that main event scene, like a Jericho, like a Mox, really just like it's stale right now.
Yeah.
What about you? What about you, Hambone? What do you think of this matchup?
This is for me, this is probably going to be in-ring match of the night. There's 0% chance that Will Ospreay loses his first official match on the roster. And also I think he's got to win here too, because I mean, they're clearly going to separate him from the Don Callis family because he's clearly over as a face.
Make that point.
Yeah. And
but
the Don Callis family is not, I don't think anybody really knows what the fuck the Don Callis family is right now. Just another thing that was really interesting and then fizzled out. But yeah, there's no way Ospreay loses.
Yeah.
They're what?
They're the P break.
The P break? Oh, okay.
I've seen the Don Callis family when I've been there live, and I've always gone pissed during, and it's been fine, and I haven't really missed anything. I love everybody involved. Don't get me wrong, everyone involved is a great performer and great wrestlers and great managers. I'm just kind of over it.
Yeah, and I mean, again, it started off real interesting, and then Sammy got hurt, and then Sammy turned face, and then Kyle Fletcher got hurt. It's just kind of cursed.
Sammy, just go away. I mean,
Sammy
sorry.
could also go.
I mean, Sammy needs to. I think honestly, the best thing that I'm not getting off topic here, but I think seriously, go away. Like, go work the indies. Get back to like the Sammy Guevara I want to see is the guy who was coming out with like the panda head and shit. Like this Sammy Guevara is the drizzling shit.
I don't want to see that guy again. I was really excited for Sammy to be the centerpiece of the Don Callis family. I thought that was really what he needed, was a heel turn, get the hell away from Jericho because you're always Jericho's lackey, and really be like the featured guy to finally get a push. And then they just turned him face and he's Jericho's lackey again. So
yeah.
Michael, what are your thoughts on this one, buddy?
Will Ospreay's gonna win. He's definitely gonna. He got such a babyface pop on Wednesday that like. Yeah, he shouldn't be part of no Don Callis family.
Yeah,
like, you should not ruin that pop. So yeah, there's definitely gonna be a turn.
Here's the thought, guys. Let me throw this question out to you, right? Will Ospreay wins this, right? Then he leaves the Don Callis family, and then
Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah. Do we get United Empire? Does Kyle Fletcher leave?
I would love a version of the United Empire in AEW.
Especially when Mark Davis comes back. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I'm thinking? Injuries permitting. Maybe blood and guts. Adam Cole also has time to heal up. We get United Undisputed Kingdom versus United Empire, blood and guts.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm just saying, if we're gonna cook, let's cook.
I would love a version of the United Empire in AEW.
Yeah. Be great if they could get like some, if Jeff Cobb could come in and stuff. Man, I don't know what it
Listen, they don't need to hire anybody else. This
Well, that's
bloated ass
true.
roster.
You-
Stop
We'll
hiring.
make a one-off.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
you
thinking from the United Empire's perspective, but you're right. Yeah, let's not hire anybody else.
Can, yeah.
They can make a quick call to TJP and Jeff Cobb.
Yeah, we just need you for like a one-off. That's all, brother.
Yeah, we just need you for like a couple dynamites.
Yeah, we'll be good. All right, let's get into the title matches here at Revolution, which we've got a plenty of championship matches on the line here. First up, the TNT title is on the line as everybody's favorite father figure, Christian Cage, defends his title against Daniel Garcia, who's been red hot these past couple months on AEW. Pretty cool they're putting him in this spot, I think. I thought this was going to be another matchup with like Adam Copeland and stuff, but no, we're getting this matchup instead, which I'm kind of for, man. And my gosh, the Christian Cage just is like keeps his levels. It's insane the amount, like given the address to where his dad is, and he's at the fucking gravesite where he's buried. It's just like,
well, I felt that was the real address when people put that on Twitter. I was in shock that people actually looked it up and actually posted the picture of the fucking funeral or the
doxing. Actually, not necessarily frowned upon in the AEW handbook, in the AEW HR handbook. Look, still 5 people backstage, and you're fine. What, you want to dox somebody? Man, go ahead.
Are you guys a little surprised at all, if anything, that kind of this resurgence, this kind of push of Daniel Garcia here these past couple of months? I'm happy for it, but I gotta be honest, I didn't really see it coming. I thought it was just kind of like he was one of the many who's just kind of dwindling away in AEW, and now he's getting this big matchup against Christian Cage on the pay-per-view.
I think this kind of shows the power of what something like the C2 can really do for people, because like look at like outside of Eddie Kingston, Swerve got really good showings in that. We're able to build to another match on this card just basically from the C2. And then even people who didn't win, like Brody King and Daniel Garcia, like they have a new coat of paint on them. And I'm all for some Danny, man. I'm all for some Danny Garcia. I also just noticed this, and it's bothering the heck out of me. The wrist tape on his left hand is keyed out. Like you can see the back, like he has no wrist. And it bothers me so much.
Yeah.
Damn, where's B-roll at when we need him to fix these damn graphics? Oh man, yeah, I mean, I think I'm happy for him to have this moment, but I guess in the back of my mind, Hambone, you're probably thinking the same thing, brother. It's like, okay, he's not going to win this, and then he's just going to go back, and what the fuck are they going to do with him next? So they are good about building the push, but after that, it's like, eh.
They should do a love triangle angle with Ruby Soho and what's his name?
Ange. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think Daniel Garcia might win it.
Oh.
I think I'm not a huge Daniel Garcia fan. His gear is terrible too. I don't know who keeps telling him to wear those fucking pants, but you got to stop, Danny. But I think he might win. I think he might get a little help from a rated R superstar who might come out and screw Christian. Because I mean, does that feud really need this title? You know what I mean?
It
really doesn't anymore.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. So I'm going to take Daniel Garcia on this one.
Wow. What about you, Extreme League?
For me personally, I look at it like this, right? Christian Cage has been such a strong TNT champion to where whoever he loses to has to become a star or has to become like a rising star. You can't just have him lose it randomly on Dynamite. So if he were going to lose it, losing it to Daniel Garcia ain't the worst way to do it. And then, like Hambone said, you can have You can have, Christian Cage and Adam Copeland do their blood feud and then eventually team up, and then Daniel Garcia can carry the TNT title. Personally, for me, I think Daniel's more of an international title scene kind of a guy. But Hambone, you might have convinced me that Danny's winning it. I don't know. I don't know. Also, AEW, Tony Khan, since you be watching Colt TV and stuff, hire B-roll to do your graphics, because now all I'm doing is staring at Daniel Garcia's wrist. And I went to go double check. I have the official match graphics at a different window right here. That's the official match graphic. He has no wrist.
That is horrible.
How can you? But to be fair, how can Christian Cage do a wrist lock? There's no wrist. No wrist.
That's the ploy all along.
That's spider math right there, boys.
Michael, who do you got in this?
I also had Daniel Garcia winning, but I actually had it not because of the Adam Copeland interference. I had of an accidental kill switch or Nick Wayne fuck up.
Okay. I gotta be honest with you guys. Going into this, I was saying Christian, but y'all have convinced me. I could see it makes sense. Get the title on some young blood. It gets him over. Like it serves its purpose of really because I feel like the TNT title, it's like it's kind of like what it should be is like the workhorse title. So like hell yeah, put it on Daniel Garcia. Let him run with it, man. So I'm
just think of it this way too. You give Daniel Garcia the TNT championship. You have Adam Copeland help him win it. Screw Christian over. Copeland and Edge can. Oh my God, Copeland and Christian can go off and continue their feud without this title, and then Daniel Garcia could have built-in opponents. He could go right to Luchasaurus or Kill Switch. Excuse me, I don't know anybody's name anymore. He could go to Kill Switch, beat him. That'd be a big win because he's a giant and all. Then he could even go to Nick Wayne after and have Christian's two lackeys try to redeem him and bring the title back to him.
Well said, Adam Copeland.
You think you know me. Yeah. Nonetheless, though, it's going to be interesting to see, and I think we're all in agreement Adam Copeland's going to be involved in this matchup one way or the other. Well, let's talk about our next matchup here. And yes, I know this graphic's fucked up, but this is the only
I was about to say, this better not be their official.
Oh, it is, but it's just like, I don't know. It's fucked
What
up.
is this, an Extreme League Wrestling YouTube video?
So let's talk about the AEW. Some of the AEW International Championships on the line as Orange Cassidy defends his championship against the man with one of the sweetest looking mustaches right now in all wrestling.
His mustache
Roderick
creeps me out.
Nah, it's beautiful. That thing, that's almost like Tom Selleck level, brother. That's like he is going down to like the fucking dive bar on Saturday nights, and he's like, cracking his knuckles, like, who's ready for a mustache ride? Everybody's getting the back of his like Ford Thunderbird. It's going down.
That is down. 1970s statically channel mustache there.
Oh, it's beautiful.
He's just bathed in like Stetson cologne, and
yes,
he's got on a really bad Hawaiian shirt that's not. It does not have enough buttons that are connected. Probably only the one at the bottom.
There's a bunch of empty Natty Light cans in the bed.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't know how they got there. Yeah. He doesn't know how long they've been back there.
It's got a bunch of skunk weed that he just thinks is the best shit that anyone's ever had.
I got this at a Pizza Hut. I think the strand's called oregano.
I think we could just go on the rest of the show just doing this. Oh man, but no, this matchup, I mean, I don't know, like I really don't want to see Orange lose the belt, but I really get the feeling that like he's gonna drop it to Roderick Strong here. I mean, the way they're building this with the Undisputed Kingdom and collecting championship belts, it seems like it's gonna be their thing. Man, I really don't want Orange to lose this, but I got a feeling Roddy's gonna take the belt. So what about you guys?
So that Orange is one of probably my favorite wrestler of the past 5 years or so at least. And I love this run that he's had as the international champion. He has made this title matter more than any other title in the company as far as I'm concerned. With that said, I do think Roddy wins here. I think that's where the storyline is going, but I'm gonna be honest with you. As much as I love Orange, I think it's time. I think it's time for him to drop it. I mean, he's had combined his 2 reigns, 50 wins with this thing?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of time for him to move up To be honest with you, I think Orange needs to be put in that world title picture. I think he
I'm for
should have
that.
been a long time ago, but
I
think he
truly
should be.
think, like, everybody talks 4 pillars. Like, get rid of Sammy and Jungle Boy. Like, Orange Cassidy should be one of
Absolutely.
the other pillars, and then
Mhm.
maybe Britt or something. I don't know. But anyways,
Yeah.
Orange is like one of the top like faces of AEW.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Kids
Extremely.
love him.
Oh, yeah,
You
kids
know?
love him.
Everybody
be
loves
not.
him, but he's so
yeah.
over with the kids, and like I'm,
Yeah.
you know.
And I feel like we're kind of still in the requisite reactionary era of like the whole John Moxley with the international title situation, and then Ray Phoenix having it, etc. So I feel like finally there's going to be kind of a clear direction with it. I've loved every single one of Orange Cassidy's international title reigns, but if he's going to losing it to Roddy and giving the Undisputed Kingdom a little bit more, clout, I think in AEW is going to really be what's needed. Because like here's going to be the thing too is like let's say Wardlow does lose the All-Star Grand Slam special or whatever the fuck the match is called. If he loses that, the Undisputed Kingdom needs one dub during this in order to, in my mind, stay relevant, and it's going to be this one.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can even make it. And I'm sure that if it does happen, that this is going to be the way that it goes down. If Roddy wins, it's not going to be clean. OC still looks good in the end. There's
That's
probably going to
true.
be interference from Taven and Bennett. So, at the end, yeah, he's going to lose it, but then he could move up, and it doesn't look like a loss for him, really.
And I will say, possible sleeper match of the night.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because these guys kill it in the ring. I've loved Roderick Strong for years, man. I know Michael can attest. Like back to his Ring of Honor days. Holy shit.
Yes, yes. The King of Ring of Honor is going to win this match.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I like the way you put it, Hambone. It eases my heart a little bit now. Like accepting, like, okay, Roddy gets the belt and Orange moves on to bigger and better things. I'm okay with that if they do that, which they should. But time will tell on that one. All right, let's talk about this one, boys. The Continental Crown is on the line as Eddie Kingston is going to defend it against Bryan Danielson.
So, if I may say, Hambone mentioned about how he wanted OC to go up to the world title. I would love OC to face Eddie Kingston for these 3 belts.
Oh, that's an interesting matchup. I never thought about that. Like arguably the 2 biggest baby faces in AEW going at it.
Or not.
I mean,
Bryan.
Oh, Bryan. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Bryan and OC for the
Bryan
title?
and OC for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's my thing. I wouldn't want OC to go for this because this title doesn't matter. So why would he go for something that doesn't matter after this amazing reign where he's made a title matter? He should be moving up, not down. And this title is down. As much as I love both of these men, Eddie Kingston
sir.
Well, he can beg to differ all he wants, but the motherfucker hasn't been on Ring of Honor TV in 4 months. What's the point of this title? Has he been on New Japan Strong? He hasn't been on Ring of Honor. Like, I don't get what they're doing here. So I just don't care about this title. They're not making anybody care about this title.
I mean, that's fair. I think also, like, to your point, Hambone, I understand how you feel, even though I'm the biggest Eddie Kingston defender in the world.
Yeah, so am I. I love Eddie. But him and OC are my 2 AEW guys. Like, those are my 2 favorites.
Yeah, but I also understand your point, too, because, you do the Continental Classic, you have people like Swerve, Moxley, Bryan, and then, like, with all due respect to everyone Eddie's defended it against, to be like, oh, here's Brian Keith, and I love Brian Keith, but also, like, he shouldn't be in that type of situation facing Eddie Kingston for the title. And I know it's an eliminator match or whatever the hell, like, that's fine, but also it's like, I'm happy for Eddie. I'm glad Eddie won this. Eddie's soul seems like he wanted this, and I'm happy to see Eddie Kingston thriving. But also it's like, why should I care about his reign? And they haven't really had an answer to that question.
Right.
These are all valid points.
You see, I didn't know because I don't have Ring of Honor. Like, I don't watch Ring of Honor. So I didn't know he had not been on Ring of Honor television.
You and everyone else. No. I mean, to be fair.
Yeah. I honestly don't think that he's been on I think he has defended the Ring of Honor title one time on Ring of Honor since he won it. He has not been on once since winning the Continental Championship and putting them all together.
Damn. All right. Now
I'm gonna be honest, none of the Ring of Honor champions show up on Ring of Honor except for Athena.
I was getting ready to say, what about Athena? She's the
Yeah,
MVP of
I
that
mean,
show.
fucking who nobody knows where boring ass Yuta is. The Kingdom rarely wrestles over there. I mean, none of the
That's
titles
why
get
I
defended
canceled my
except for Athena.
ROH subscription because they ain't doing shit.
No, they're not.
Yeah, but no, I agree with you. I as much as I love Eddie Kingston, I just do not feel emotionally attached to this title.
Mhm.
The New Japan Strong title is just kind of like, what the fuck is this? It's like, okay, another of their 20 something championships, you know.
Right. Yeah.
The Ring of Honor title, like you're saying, it should be defended on Ring of Honor, and it's just like
Yeah.
I'm happy for Eddie, and I think it was, man, that Continental Classic final, like that was such an emotional moment, like such a great moment when Eddie Kingston won that thing. But I don't know. I just feel kind of like, and if
Well,
Danielson gets it, then like, what's it really do anything for? You know, like, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like,
yeah.
Now y'all got me rethinking everything. Maybe I was just excited.
I have a habit of doing that. Every time I'm on one of these, everybody goes, "Oh, Hambone, you made me reconsider this."
So
I'm a huge All Japan mark. So like
Mhm.
a Triple Crown Championship is something that I just
yeah,
love.
and I love that aspect of it, and that tribute to it, but it just I don't know.
Just didn't know he wasn't defending it anywhere.
I think that's the big thing. If Eddie was like actively on, and Eddie doesn't need to be doing it because Eddie's Eddie. Eddie's the fucking man. But I mean, I feel like this championship should actively be defended across all three shows, and all we're seeing is like on AEW, and that's it. It's just kind of like,
crazy.
They just absolved these two other titles from different companies essentially, and it's like, well, here we are.
Yeah, I mean, outside of our gripes with the Continental Crown itself, for me personally, I'm very excited for the match itself, championship side.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're be a barn burner.
Yeah, I mean, you put these two guys, together, and if this had nothing to do with this title, this would probably be the match that I would have the hardest time calling.
Yeah.
But seeing as it is for this title, I'm going to say that Eddie retains, because if Eddie ain't showing up on Ring of Honor, Bryan Danielson sure the hell ain't showing up on Ring of Honor, because he's way above that. So I just don't see any reason why Danielson wins this.
For me personally, I look at it like this as well. Like for the critics of AEW who might watch like the Takeshita Ospreay match and go like, oh, AEW is just a bunch of people flying around. There's no story. This is the antithesis of their argument, to where it's like, okay, then look at this. This is right here. Look at this. There's story. They're not doing a bunch of flips. They're smacking the crap out of each other. It's great. And normally I would be all for Eddie, and Eddie is my pick. But there's a little voice in the back of my brain that goes, Tony Khan is really good at giving people goodness on their way out, and we're all kind of forgetting that this is Bryan Danielson's like last full year as a full-time wrestler, and he's never held a championship in AEW. So could he be the Continental Crown champion on the way out? Possibly. My pick is still Eddie, but I wouldn't be mad if Danielson won.
I have to say this, Extreme League, and I mean this is like no disrespect to that title, but
that'd be a shit title to give Bryan Danielson on his fucking way out.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna go with Eddie too, because I just realized Eddie wins this match. Bryan Danielson has to shake his hand to give him that respect.
Yeah, we're not going to take that away.
Story. I think
that's the whole part of the story.
Win or lose. I think that's what Eddie said on.
Oh, that you're right. Yeah, you're right.
It's win or lose. He has to shake his hand.
But it'd be better if Eddie won, right?
Yeah. The story and such.
Yeah.
So.
Can I also just say, Tony Khan, could you just hire me to book Ring of Honor? I could do it so much better than you. I know that every fucking mark that. I know every mark thinks that, but like I'm telling you, I could do so much better than you.
I got 3 words for you with Ring of Honor, and Hambone knows where I'm going with this. Dalton fucking Castle.
I'm set. No,
What
no.
the fuck?
Dalton should be on AEW. Fuck
that's
Ring
true.
of Honor. He's too big for Ring of Honor. Why isn't he on AEW every week?
Yeah. I'll give you that. He should be a top guy,
Yes,
main event
boys.
guy in
Yes.
AEW. I'm going with Eddie on this one too as well. I just feel like I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense to put the belts on Danielson, but I mean, who knows? It's going to be a great matchup nonetheless. So,
Oh yeah.
and I'm looking forward to it. It's one of the highlights I think of Revolution. So, moving on here, we've got the AEW Women's World Championship is on the line as timeless Toni Storm defends her Women's Championship against one Deonna Purrazzo.
So
go ahead. No, go right ahead.
this is my match of the night.
Okay.
I can see it. Yeah.
These two best friends gonna kill each other out of respect.
Yeah, murder.
Yeah.
Murder.
I'm gonna go with Tony winning, but this is gonna be a phenomenal match.
I hope so. Like, I feel like it has the potential to be, but I also feel like, like Toni Storm, obviously, we all know she's killing it right now. This character she's tapped into has just been fucking amazing. Popped hard to see Deonna pop up in AEW. I'm excited to see her get this championship matchup, but Hambone, you probably know where I'm going with this. In the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, I've seen this happen so many times in AEW, especially in the women's division. They bring in a new star, they push him to the top to get a title shot, they lose the match, and then they don't do shit with them. That's my biggest concern with this matchup is what happens to Deonna afterwards.
Sure.
But we're talking in the moment here in this matchup. And I do love the story that they can tell here between these two former best friends. Deonna in ring, we all know how phenomenal she is. But at the end of the day, we are in Toni Storm's time right here. This is her time to shine. She's timeless. She's timeless. I cannot see Deonna Purrazzo going over in this one. Toni Storm's retaining.
So this is another one that I'm kind of 50-50 on. And Jay, I do agree with you. I mean, we've seen that a million times. That's why I am always very against that sort of booking for anybody. Don't bring somebody in and immediately give them a title shot, because either way, really, it usually ends up going bad. Either they're going to lose and that makes them look terrible in their first actual feud, or they're going to win and the crowd probably hasn't had enough time to really care about this person, especially if they don't know them. Like you said, Toni killing it right now. Best work of her career. But part of me says Deonna wins so that Toni can, really mentally break and do this feud with Mariah May without the title being involved.
That's a good point.
Because I feel
she
like
doesn't
that
need
has
the
to
belt.
happen somehow.
She does not need the belt. I mean, if you look at these two, Deonna needs this belt more than Toni does. And I mean, that is no disrespect to Deonna, but it's just like, what does she do? Like I said, what does she do after this if she doesn't win the belt?
Right. So, with all that being said, I'm still leaning towards Toni.
Okay.
So I think that she's going to be my answer.
Okay. Extreme League, what are your thoughts on this one?
I too am leaning towards Toni, and to hop on your point there, Hambone, telling Papa Khan to let you book some ROH. Listen, here's what I'm thinking the next few months of AEW women's television looks like, and if it doesn't work out like this, TK, call me. So here's what I'm thinking, right? Toni retains the title. I think it's one of those things where Christian and Adam Copeland don't need the TNT title for their feud, and I agree with that. I would say, if anything, with the Mariah May and Toni Storm's relationship, the title does add something to that, with Mariah May being this fangirl who's been pining after Toni and trying to get her attention, and Toni has just rapidly started to just like, no. So then, turns on her. I'm not saying they take this to Double or Nothing, but maybe something similar. And then we had talked about this a little bit before we started recording, to where we have a possible Mercedes Moné debut. We have a returning Jamie Hayter at some point. And we also have Britt Baker, who's, I don't know, at the Madam Web premiere, I guess, She could be doing something. So we're on the precipice of a lot of major players finally coming into the women's division, a women's division that's gotten a lot of criticism, rightfully so in some regards, a lot of criticism, a lot of jeers, and Tony's been a really fresh statement in that women's division. And I think Tony is, after maybe we do Hater Tony 3, 4, I don't know which one they're on now, but let's get that match again with this new timeless persona. And then, I don't know, we do Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes Moné at All In, or Britt versus Moné at All In. Who cares? Because we're playing with house money at this point. So I think we're on the precipice of like just the women's division really turning a new leaf on AEW, but that's going to be with Tony as champion. As much as I love Deanna, I don't think she's picking it up.
Yeah, and something else to factor into all this too as well is the AEW recently hiring Jen. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting her last name, but she used to work for WWE as one of the top. She worked a lot in the women's division. She was a big like producer for Mercedes, so
Yeah,
that's going to be
Jennifer,
hugely beneficial for this women's division. It's a shot in the arm they desperately need. And I want to say this. I mean that as no disrespect to the women that are in this division. They've got
Jennifer
the talent.
Pepperman.
Jennifer Pepperman, thank you. They've got the talent. It's just the booking's just shit right now. It's like we just let's do this. Let's have a series of matches between Sky Blue and Chris Statlander.
Let's have only one match every week. 9:30. Don't ever deviate from that.
Yep, it's like the same shit, different day. But anyways, I digress. But yeah, I think this is going to be. It's going to be interesting to see the story that is told in this one. But yeah, I just like I say, I can't see Tony Storm losing it yet. But I don't know, Hambone, you almost got me a little convinced. I could possibly see them going down that route because, like I say, Tony doesn't need the belt. But I don't know. I know one thing though. In a couple weeks, things are going to get pretty damn interesting in that women's division, to say the least. Oh boy, here we go, boys. Let's talk about this one. Your AEW World Title is on the line as Samoa Joe defends against Hangman Adam Page, and the guy who is arguably the most over wrestler in AEW, hell, most over wrestler in wrestling right now, you could easily argue, is Swerve Strickland. This is going to be interesting. I'm very, very, very conflicted on this one because I'm a huge, huge Joe fan. I want to see him have a really lengthy like title reign, but I was really thinking we put Swerve in a match for the title 6 months from now or something, but I'm a little surprised they're already doing it, but I can understand why. But it's just like, man, like how do you I know there's a way around booking this and and they're smart in I think making it a triple threat and having Hangman involved with it. But I don't know, guys. Do they have the balls to pull the trigger and give Swerve Strickland his moment and go with the hot hand? I'll start with you, Hambone.
I that's what I want to happen. Yeah, I've been singing Swerve's praises for years now, and what's such a sign of how over he is right now. They very clearly did a complete double turn on Dynamite. Swerve came out, and all of a sudden he's all respectful and nice and everything to Adam Page, and now he's a face, and then Adam Page turns at the end, attacks him, and becomes a heel, right? He kind of forced AEW's hand to turn him complete face. I love Joe, too. Joe, one of my favorites of the past 20 years. But I agree with you that I don't think they take the title off of Joe this early. I think what's probably going to happen is that, Hangman's going to eat the pin.
No doubt about it. Hangman is
Swerve doesn't have to lose. Joe walks out still with the title, and then Swerve can still go for the title in a couple months when they're ready to actually take it off of Joe. So I still say Joe wins here.
That, or I think you can still do some storytelling with like Hangman and Swerve, and Hangman ultimately costs Swerve the match somehow or something. But I think it's the other way around. I think Hangman's clearly here to eat the pin.
Yeah.
But against who? That's the question. Like, I don't know. What do you think about this one, man?
I don't know. It's hard because do you go with with old faithful Samoa Joe, or do you pick the hot hand and Swerve Strickland? There's two schools of thought here. AEW is in a very particular place. You just got the belt off of your champion who's had it for 400 something days onto someone who is well respected as Samoa Joe, to where you don't want it to seem like Joe is a transitional champion. And I don't think that term's ever really been used too often in AEW championships. Yeah, sure, we might say, oh, they're hot potato in the title, but like the term transitional champion, I think has a negative connotation to it. And you're kind of playing with fire in that sense, especially when you're talking about someone who is legendary and still working as Samoa Joe. But also, to change the narrative around AEW, the narrative that the product is stagnating, that you see on Twitter constantly, the whole thing of like, well, Tony Khan doesn't know how to think on his feet. I think all the criticism that happens with AEW doesn't stop completely if Swerve wins the title, but a lot of it goes away. And I believe Swerve Strickland should take this belt off Samoa Joe. Maybe not at Revolution, maybe at Double or Nothing. I think that's a better timeline, because I would sell my kidney to see Ospreay and Swerve Strickland at Wembley for the title.
Ooh,
But you're telling me, bruv, that Ospreay's just going to come into AEW after working Wembley and seeing that they're going to do Wembley annually and didn't bring that up? No. So Swerve is going to be the world champion after Samoa Joe. I'm pretty dead set in that. And Lord willing, the creek don't rise on my words there. But as much as I hate to say it, it is going to be Joe, and that sounds like a weird sentence to say out loud. But for me, Swerve is going to take the belt off of him, just not on Sunday night.
I think that's a good way of putting it. Michael, what do you think about this triple threat?
Joe's going to win this, and Joe's going to have a lengthy run, because I have a prediction that Swerve, if AEW does this thing where they do the same pay-per-view in the same city every year, Swerve will win that AEW world title when they are back in Seattle at Wrestle Dream 2.
That's a good point. They didn't bring up if it's going to be a traveling show or not.
That's a good, yeah. And also too, that makes sense. I didn't even think about that till you said that, man. Like he has such a huge following there.
Tacoma Zone will win that title in front of his fans, because
Yo.
that is Swerve's house.
Yo, you know it would be more. You know it would be awesome though. What if Swerve did win it before Wrestle Dream, and then at Wrestle Dream we got Swerve and Bryan Danielson for the world title?
Swerve versus Bryan Danielson or Swerve versus Darby.
I think the entire state of Washington would go into shutdown.
Yeah.
As somebody who, for the last 10 years, has watched Darby Allin and Swerve kill each other in every promotion they've been in, specifically in Defy, I would love to see Darby versus Swerve for the world title at Climate Pledge. So, no offense to Bryan Danielson.
It could.
Give me a triple threat.
A triple threat would be great. And the timing for that works out, because isn't Darby still going to climb Mount Everest?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
I have a feeling he'll probably do it after Sunday.
Yeah. No,
When is Wrestle Dream? October, right?
Yeah,
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
There's time.
you're 2 months away from Daniel Bryan being done in October. Yeah. Give him a world title shot. I'm not saying pull the trigger on it. You know, I want Swerve to be champion for a long time, but
yes,
that'd be a better way of going out.
And you got a lot of contenders that you could put in that spot for the World Heavyweight Championship, dude. So yeah, I'm literally 50-50 on this. I feel like Swerve, it makes sense, man. Put the belt on him. He's hot. He's red hot. Can he continue the momentum going into freaking as months go on? You think if he doesn't win the belt here, does he still stay red hot?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think so too.
Especially again, if he's not actually taking the pin or getting choked out, the fans are just going to look at it as well. He didn't lose, so he's going to win eventually. So yeah, I don't think he. Yeah, I think he still keeps the momentum.
And you guys made a good point too. Like, I think you did extremely talking about like really, you hate that term transitional champion, but like if Joe would drop it here, I mean, he'd be the shortest tenured AEW world champion. And I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. I can't see Joe lose. I could, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Joe retains.
As elated as I would be to see Swerve win the title, I would also be disappointed if Joe lost it this quickly, because I was surprised as hell that he won it in the first place, because I really didn't think he was going to. But I was so happy for Joe to finally get the recognition that he deserves in a major company, because he should have been champion in WWE. He should have beaten Brock Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire and been world champion, and they passed him over, and AEW wasn't going to make the same mistake.
Do you guys mind if I tell a story? I'll be super quick about it. So at the Tulsa show, we're there for the 6-man tag, right, with like RVD and Hook and these 3 guys and Brian Cage, and we're there, and the guy behind me clearly was just like I hate to say the term generic wrestling fan, but like he clearly just like didn't watch the product, because like we're right there for Moxley's entrance, and they go, "Why's the camera at there?" And I was like, "Because that's where Moxley's coming out," and like they didn't know. And again, not trying to shame here, just saying like if you watch, that's kind of a common thing. It's like John Cena doing this, like it's just going to be a thing that happens. So we're there, and the guy behind me is like talking of Samoa Joe, the world champion. Man, look at that fat boy. Man, look at him go. I'm like, I was about to say, like, I'm about to smack the taste out somebody's mouth. What you talking about?
Fat boy would beat your ass.
He would beat all of our asses.
But did he also think that Yokozuna was going to be there? Or?
Oh no, he just talked about like stuff with RVD in like the 90s, and I'm like, bro, he's wrestling in front of you right now. Maybe just enjoy that.
And then 5 minutes into the match, kick him in the dick. Kick him in the dick.
Side note, RVD is going to be doing a meet and greet up here very soon at the opening of a cannabis shop, because of course.
As he should. And the Pope's Catholic and water is wet. What else is new,
Yeah, like that's not shocking.
No.
And the name of the cannabis shop is Raven's Joint.
I'm in a wheelchair. Can we talk about other stuff that are obvious?
I love you.
Sorry, I had to.
Well, I think nonetheless, like I say, I think this matchup is going to be very interesting to watch, just simply for the fact I think it's 50-50. Let me ask you this. Let me just fucking pull this out of my ass. What if Hangman won this?
Well, that'd be a stupid decision.
That would be just batshit crazy. And I love Hangman. Don't get me wrong.
Hangman's
one of my favorites, but it would make no fucking sense.
I haven't been a Hangman fan in so long. I've lost so much disinterest in him.
Yeah,
I mean,
he went back to the Elite.
Yeah, he has not been handled well for somebody who should have been one of their main biggest stars.
I want to see grumpy cowboy Hangman. That's just.
But you know what? I think you can get a great heel run out of him here, because it's just like, So I'm excited to see that, and what another step for him to kind of ascend to be like one of the top heels there is he cost Swerve the match.
Maybe with like the international title. I wouldn't say personally.
I was going to say international title, because I want the battle of the stashes.
Stash battle.
Roderick versus heel versus.
Wouldn't be the wildest thing in the world.
Yeah.
No. Nonetheless, this is going to be an incredible triple threat matchup. I'm not ready to talk about this one, damn it. I'm not ready to talk about this one. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm too sad.
I'm wearing my Sting bomber jacket and my Young Bucks t-shirt.
I got my Sting
because I support everybody in this match.
So I will say this. So I'm working on a video that's going to be out the day after we record this about Sting's career and kind of just going through some of his highlights and looking at it more. I'm just like, man, Eric Bischoff had Sting twice in 2 different companies and fumbled the bag both times. How do you fumble Sting? But just doing this retrospective.
Whoa.
Huh, what?
I need you to back up and explain that. Now,
well just WCW and TNA. TNA actively got worse with Bischoff and Hogan.
I mean, I'll agree with that. Yes.
Well, we kind of talked about this on our Learning the Ropes Sting retrospective. Is I wouldn't go as far as to say Eric. I think Terry.
That's fair. That's fair. I stand corrected.
Yeah.
I stand
fuck
corrected.
Terry. Can't say that enough. I want to say that on everything we do on Cold TV. If I can get that at least in once. Fuck Terry. Fuck him. Anyway,
Are we talking about Hulk Hogan, Terry?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking
that's-
about
Oh
that.
yeah, oh yeah, fuck Hulk Hogan.
Terry Bollea can suck a dick.
But to go back to my more sentimental point, through the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and the 2020s now, we have had Sting, we have had memorable moments, we have had truly a guy, like when you get the nickname the Icon, it's not for funsies, it's not for S's and G's, it's for being able to be relevant, to reinvent yourself, to be the wrestler that many look up to, that doesn't necessarily need to be in one company for their entire career. Sting has pretty much worked for every company you can think of. And for him to come back from such a major injury, to come back and, sorry to borrow a line here, but to finish his story, to finish his career, to finish writing his own book is a poetic ending to probably one of the greatest careers in professional wrestling. And I mean, come on, man, it's Sting. You can't.
Sting. The man they
You
call
hate
Sting.
it.
Yeah, I I gotta be honest. When this match was first presented, I was just like, really? That's gonna be his last match is against the Bucks? But I gotta give them credit over this
The
past
Bucks
month of
turned this whole
television.
storyline so greatly.
Yeah, this is Jesus. Did the Bucks need to do something like this? I mean, they were desperately needing a fresh coat of paint because it was just like the same shit. But
So-
let me ask you, as a Bucks fan, Hambone, like how much are you loving this Matthew and Nicholas Jackson run we're on right now?
So I really do like the gimmick. I think it's brilliant, first off, especially because this is what they have gotten criticized for years now, is fans just have this idea in their head that there's just these evil EVPs who put themselves over all the time and win championships just because they're at the top, even though they lose more than they win. But my only issue with it is that I wish that they were playing it a little bit more seriously. Because I do love the Bucks. I'm never gonna not like the Bucks. I know a lot of people have turned on them, but I am not going to. But they're still playing this with that kind of jokey, trollish young Bucks kind of feel to it at times. And I wish they were doing it a little bit more seriously to really like look like they're just being asshole EVPs over the Bucks. Giving a little wink and a nod and a nudge to the IWC saying, hey, you get it? You get what we're doing? Because that's kind of what they're doing.
Yeah.
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 That makes sense.
Yeah. And the stuff where they attacked them and then the blood on the suits and then, my God, that Sting promo from like a couple weeks ago. Holy shit.
I mean, that Sting promo seemed to turn a lot of people with this feud where
Mhm.
they weren't into it before. And then all of a sudden, Sting cuts that promo and they're like, I'm kind of into this match now. So
Dead dads will do that.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, let's obviously this is the main event. I mean, this is what the show.
I'm sorry, Jay. But can we also just make it clear that Sting is probably lucky that this is his last match? Because if not, Christian Cage was probably coming after him after this.
Oh dear God.
That's fact.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That creepy little bastard probably would have came after him. There's no doubt about it.
So, and I will say this: I'm most excited for this match because apparently word on the street was Sting liked their match at the first ever Forbidden Door. It was the 3-way tag with like them and Shingo.
I was there
versus Young Bucks. Yeah, being there was freaking awesome. I love that we were in the same place, but somehow still didn't know each other.
I didn't realize you. How I didn't.
Yeah,
realize
I was
you
there.
were there.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I was there too. Shit.
Yeah, but
Awesome.
being there for that match and then also Sting jumping from the tunnel, which was such an insane moment.
Oh,
like
I love that.
being there for all of that, you can just see Sting having fun. So I'm just happy Sting gets to have fun on his way out.
I gotta be honest, as a lifelong Sting fan, and I admit this on Learning the Rope or the other night, but that was my first Sting match in person. Was at Forbidden Door.
Yeah,
I
same.
was like, yeah. But man, like obviously this is going on last. This is the main event. I mean, this is what the whole show's been built around. This is Sting's last match. They've catered it to like what Sting's style has been wrestling, which is crazy to think, like, these tornado tags, these crazy, like, no DQ stuff, the shit he's been doing is just like, how are you doing this? But God bless you, man. And like, you're staying healthy and having fun. So that's the most important thing.
It's a grandpa starts jumping off of things.
Yeah.
Listen, before we came on here, I read a little quick interview with Sting, and he said he promised to wrestle at AEW Revolution in a way, quote, that will make people save the tape. So he's gonna do some crazy shit.
Steve Borden, Steve, buddy, I love you. You're gonna have a life after this. I want you to remember that. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Sting. I think we can all agree. Please remember that there will be Monday morning. Please just remember that.
We're gonna have another Borden in the business here in a couple months, probably.
One of his kids. Yeah.
Well, both his sons are kind of training. His daughter-in-law is a wrestler.
Oh, I didn't know that.
His daughter's a wrestler too, Gracie.
Yeah.
Gracie
really?
Yeah, Gracie.
I did not know that.
His daughter-in-law is a wrestler. Yeah, and his daughter-in-law works backstage for AEW.
Oh, well, there you go.
Community stuff.
Okay. Well,
she works
with
Mrs. Huber.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Okay, yeah.
Well, this one, like I say, this is going to be an emotional matchup. I think this is just going to be. I hope, like you're saying, Hambone. I think we're going to be looking back on it, like watching it years to come. And I mean, I hope it's just as great of a send off for such a great career that Sting has had. And I'm so happy he's gotten this last run too, because let's call a spade a spade. The WWE run was the drizzling shit. They fucking booked him terribly.
Yep.
But I mean, I can't, like, does Sting go out a champion, or is it the time honored tradition? You go out on your back, right? Yeah. And I think that's what happens. I think the Bucks are going to win this.
I'm happy that I convinced you to meet him at Starcast, Jay.
Oh my God, yes.
I mean, I guess you would have gotten another chance because you would have been able to go to WrestleCon, but still.
Well, and he's going to be at Squared Circle Expo, where we're going to
there you go.
Cheap pop. Come check us out.
See, that means, what that means? That means you need to print the picture and go and get it signed.
There you go.
That's what you need to do.
And then show them my videos I have of me and my little Sting doll.
Of you
all
crying,
the
yeah, exactly.
And all this stuff.
You should probably film yourself during this match and then show him that.
As you should.
So I just want to say, when it comes to Sting, so when I was, I always considered myself a WWF kid. I watched WCW a little bit, but WWF was my promotion. But when I switched back and forth, my guy was Sting, especially because when I really started watching WCW, he was already doing the Crow gimmick, and the Crow is one of my all-time favorite movies. So I was really into this guy who looked like the Crow. So I love Sting. He was always my favorite WCW guy. He was the only, I wouldn't say the only guy I liked, but still. But I agree with you. This one could go 50-50. I could see Tony Khan saying, no, you're not losing in your last match, and have them go over and then just have them vacate the titles after.
I'm okay with that too.
Yeah. If I were a betting man, I would say that the Bucks win, because I think that is what Sting would do. I think Sting would say, I am going to put somebody over on my way out. Yeah. So I think if that's what Sting wants, then that's what's going to happen.
I would most definitely agree with you, Hambone. Sting is one of those guys. He's old school. I want to go out looking up at the lights, even though a tag title tournament sounds pretty cool. Just saying, throwing that out there. And to kind of share your sentiment on the whole WCW, WWE thing, being a child of a certain age, I wasn't really around for the Monday Night Wars, but I was around to watch a little promotion called TNA. And I remember finding TNA randomly channel surfing one time as a child, and I was like, whoa, what is this? Whoa, what's going on here? And finding Sting, it's like a core memory for me on TNA to be like, oh my gosh, that's Sting. My cousin had, I believe it was NWO versus WCW Revenge for the N64. And I would just always play a Sting because I knew nothing of WCW. I just thought he looked cool. And to be able to find him and to be able to find alternative wrestling outside of WWE as a child, it meant the world to me to be able to see what else was going on out there. And I'm sure we're going to have a lot of teary-eyed people after Sunday night. But man, what a career, what a legend, what an icon.
Yeah. Yeah. True words can be said, man. It's God, it's gonna be emotional. Like I'm excited, but I'm also nervous and like mainly, of course, I want him to pull through the match and have a great match and just like and he's healthy afterwards. That's the most important thing.
Don't die,
Yeah,
please.
don't do anything that puts you in serious like just don't. I don't even want to talk into existence. I'm flabbergasted just thinking about it.
Wrap him in bubble wrap.
Yes, Michael, what do you think about the Stingers' last match here with the Bucks and Darby? What do you think is going to go down?
Oh, I think the Young Bucks are going to win because I think Sting, being old school as he is, he's not going to allow himself to win, and I think it's going to help the Bucks in the long run with this heel persona, this new version of the heel persona. Because how great of a promo it's going to be on Wednesday when they can do a promo talking about how they took Sting out of the business.
Yeah, and they can like hang their hats on that factoid.
They're doing these promos about taking all these old timers coming in here and ruining the company. That they would be able to take out one of these old timers finally.
And they can talk about how they gave the Bucks they gave Sting his severance package and stuff. Yeah. There's a lot.
Conduct some
and they can get in the Darby about them taking away his mentor.
Yeah. Well,
nonetheless, they should totally come up with a new double team move and call it the severance package for this gimmick. That's a great fucking finishing move name for this gimmick.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Like maybe they could even just change like the Meltzer driver and call it the severance package or something like that.
Well, they can't do that because it's the Tony Khan driver now.
Yeah.
Officially, it's the Tony Khan driver now.
You didn't hear about that?
They changed it.
I missed that.
Wednesday.
They officially changed the name.
The Tony Khan driver.
Crazy. That's amazing.
God. Personally, I would love a move with like some type of naming on like this meeting could have been an email.
Energy. Oh man.
It's weird since this last like 2 weeks since this is becoming more real. I've been watching a lot of with my dad being from Louisiana. I grew up hearing stories about UWF in Mid-South. So I've been watching a lot of his stuff from Louisiana, working for Bill Watts and Hot Stuff International with one Eddie Gilbert and one Rick Rude. Yeah, it's going to be weird seeing him retire. It's strange.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's man, there's no doubt about it. Sting has had a prolific career. It's been an amazing run, but come Sunday, it's coming to an end, man. I'm not ready, but I am. But like, you know, at least he's not sticking around to like kind of tarnish his legacy, like some, you know, like no disrespect.
Like a Flair?
Yeah.
I was about to say, maybe let's not take a page out of Ric Flair's book. Let's have this actually be the last match.
Yeah, this needs to be legit. Like we're done, and I think Sting's smart enough, and this is going to be good enough send off.
Oh, his wife would kill him if he tried to get back to the business.
Yeah,
I think his wife is done.
Well, gentlemen, in closing here, do you have any bold outside the box predictions? Anything you want to say here about Revolution that where we're going to be going after this show comes to an end on Sunday night?
I don't really have anything like weird out of the.
Yeah, I think we know
left field. I mean, I think I said the things that I think are going to be a surprise, you know, kind of like Adam Copeland showing up and costing Christian the title, you know, little things like that. I don't think anything big, crazy is going to happen. No. But yeah, that's what I think.
Steps in the right direction where AEW needs to be going. I think that's what this is going to be about. It's going to be a fun time.
I want my meat madness.
Yes.
I want the meat sweats.
It's going to happen.
Give me the meat.
Soon. Give me the meat. Because AEW, we got the meats.
I want this to be like an Arby's.
Well, that being said, that's going to wrap it up for our AEW Revolution 2024 prediction show. Real quickly, gentlemen, let's get a plug-a-palooza in for each of you. Hambone, tell us where we can find you, brother.
Oh, God. You can find me on Instagram and on TikTok at Hambone with 3 A's and 3 O's. You can find me on X at Notorious_Bone. I think I'm I'm one of those two on Threads too, but I don't really post a lot on there. And you can find me every Sunday on Twitch and YouTube on the Freebird Rules podcast, along with my co-host Con from the 703 and It's Just Nick. Right now, we are dick deep in our March Mad Drip bracket. Take all the best looks of the last year, put them head to head, and come up with the best look of the year. So come watch us every Sunday, 6 p.m.
There you go. Michael, tell us where we can find you, brother.
You can catch me on TikTok at MJ Duplessis 1992 and now on X at MJ Duplessis 1992. I was away from X/Twitter for a very long time. Finally got back on there. And then every Monday, except for this Monday because we can't film this weekend, you can catch me on World Championship Wreckages, Queen's Court, with my sister, the Tribal Queen Grease Stout, and my brother, Husky Harris, talking about the history of Monday Night Raw. We are in 1994. We're about to go into King of the Ring 1994 here soon.
Nice. I'm excited to see that. And Extreme League, my good friend, tell us where we can find you, brother.
I'm Extreme League Wrestling everywhere. I have a Twitter and a Threads or X or whatever it's called. I'm not on there for anything else but the Still People's memes. So follow me everywhere. Extreme League Wrestling, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Go watch the Sting video. It will be up the Saturday before Revolution. And subscribe. Give me a good old subscribe if I can get through this freaking plug, because I'm going to be going into WrestleMania season, and I'm going to be doing some video essays on some WrestleMania main events. And the one thing I have to say about the one that's going to come out first, yes.
I see what you did there, and I like it. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for being us here today on our AEW Revolution 2024 prediction show. And as always, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. But everybody enjoy Revolution. And Sting, we love you, buddy. We love you. I can't wait to see what happens at Revolution.